said, like, this guy's a good player, but I don't think they did him justice when they said he's a good player. And after that game, basically just having everybody say how terrible of a player I was, saying I didn't deserve to be here, and I'm going to lose us a game. Like, that's probably one of the things that stuck in my memory the most from my time at Ohio State was people just throwing me under the bus. And they don't really care about you as a person if you don't produce on the field. And that hurt. That was tough for me. But thankfully, Coach Warner, he believed in me, and the next day I went in and I talked to him, and he said, I believe in you. You can do this. You're my guy. And then just from that day on, I just, I remember that feeling to this day. Because I see, other players when they're not doing well, and people just, tossing them aside. It's just not something easy to handle. So it was a huge motivation for me, and I think that's a big reason why I progressed every single game that year.
Can you compare yourself as a player now to that day?
No, I mean I wasn't like, I look back and watch film from when I was younger, and I don't think I was very good. I just think that's a testament to not being satisfied with where you're at. I didn't just want to be a starter. I didn't want to just be another guy out there on the field. That wasn't good enough for me. I wanted to be one of the best in the country, and I'm still fighting to do that. So I don't think I was very good at that point. I think I've improved every single year. So I don't think I was very good.
Have you seen any of Khalil's games, Raiders this year?
I've seen like bits and pieces, but we're so busy that we don't watch a ton of football. And when I do watch football, I tend to watch college because it's more relevant to me. Who guys I might play this team or I might play that team. But I do love watching NFL football because obviously those guys are the best in the world. But my first start against the 5th pick Pro Bowler in the draft, it wasn't a little baptism by fire for sure.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to ask a couple questions about Braxton. Just what's the one play in his illustrious career here that stands out to you the most? Played his last game.
I'd probably have to say he had a long run against Team Up North in 2013. It had to be like 60 yards or something, and I know there was a picture that they got of it where he had his gold pants hanging out of his shoulder pads. That's kind of one play that sticks out in my mind. And then against Penn State in 2012, I wasn't even playing, but we were on the goal line, and it was just a quarterback run, and he just juked the mess out of some guy, broke his ankles, and then dove in the end zone. It was later in the game, but this 3 years ago now. But those are two plays where I can just replay them in my head. I think those are iconic plays by him.
His career obviously had its ups and downs, injuries this year. But what's the best way to sum up his career as a teammate and as a fellow Buckeye? Just what's the best way to sum up what he means to this program?
He's given a lot to this program. I think. Without him and some of the years, especially before I played, without him, it could have been a lot worse. There's not a lot of players that come along like him, just naturally gifted with, unbelievable speed and agility and cut on a dime. Just those players don't come along very often, and we were fortunate to be able to have him in our program, to just kind of have that standard of, what a playmaker should be here. So like I said, he's probably going to be one of the all-time greats to ever play here, and that's deserving because of the product he put on the field.
You talked about it. The criticism can come from Ohio State fans, and it really got to him, obviously, starting just from the first snap when you're a quarterback. How do you think he's handled it? It's not easy doing it for 5 years.
I think, as with anybody who has a rough start, I think that can kind of get to them, and that can either, at that point you can either sink or swim. You can be motivated from it and then just shut it out and just get to work, or you can just let it consume you. And I think we all know that he became a really great player, not only at the quarterback position but at wide receiver. I don't think he had the production that a lot of people were wanting, but. He did play well. He blocked well. He did what he was told to do. He did what he was supposed to do. And I think, that's what's key is, you look at his assignments and what he's supposed to do. Did he do it, and did he do it well? And he did.
just a couple. The offensive line next year. Obviously, there's 3 big pieces, but how big is it to have Pat say he's coming back for this O-line next year?
I think that's the most important thing for this next season was him deciding to come back. I think Pat playing that center position is going to be invaluable. I think, this year people don't give Jacoby as much credit as he deserves playing that center position because we ask a lot of our centers. And for him being a leader, him being an All-American caliber player, Pat coming back and switching over to the center position, a guy who knows the offense, who's a tough, hard-nosed guy to kind of lead that group. I don't think you can really verbalize how important that's going to be for this team, and especially the offensive line and the guys who are going to be stepping into new roles.
Unfortunately, we didn't see much of the backups because you guys were staying fairly healthy, but the confidence you have in the guys that are going to be taking your place.
Yeah, I think you've seen it with all different positions on our team where the guys behind you are expected to be able to step in there and play just as good as you are. Maybe they're just not executing as high of a level as you are in practice, or maybe you're a little bit better at this or that, or you have more experience. But those guys are expected to come in and play at a high level, and I'm confident in that. Well, that's why we recruit well. We have good guys that that probably deserve some playing time, but there's just better players in front of them right now. So I'm confident, and I think the big thing for them is going to be that they're hungry. I think that's a good mark for a player is to just be hungry because you haven't been there, you haven't played in the games. So I think it's going to be huge.